Hey everyone, I'm Clue, and I just couldn't help myself, so I had to use command blocks to mess around with the new armor system a little bit. So I've actually done a few different things. Easiest way to go through it is, well, to play around with the armor. So I've got a few different pieces here, and the way my new system works is there's 3 different bonuses you can achieve. So first off, you can gain a bonus depending on the material you use to trim your armor. So for instance, this lapis trimmed golden chestplate, if I were to equip this, you can see I got a FOV increase. So this corresponds to an increase in the movement attribute. So depending on which material you use to trim, you get a different bonus to an attribute. Similarly, if you equip a matching set of gear, so for instance golden, or a matching set of trim, so for instance dune, you also get a different perk. So if I were to just equip the gold but not the dune, so the dune helm but the eye chest and then dune legs and boots, you can notice I get a few extra hearts. So this is the perk of having a full set of gold armor. You get about a 33% increase to HP, so that's why it's only 3.5 hearts. Similarly, if I were to change this from eye to dune, well, nothing quite yet, but say I was in the desert, where dune armor is found, well, you can see I get a puff, and I also get 2 hearts of absorption as long as I'm in the desert. So either on normal sand or red sand. You can see I've got the absorption right here. It's refreshing every 3 seconds. But yeah, so those are the 3 ways I've sort of added to the armor system. So again, depending if you have a matching trim, you get a bonus. If you have a matching set of armor, so gold, you get a bonus. And depending on which material you use, you get a attribute bonus. So, of course, I've filled up the chests over here. We've got all the armor trimmed with all the different types, and of course all the different materials. For the materials, I've just played around with the attribute system in Minecraft. So for instance, like I said, if you've got redstone, you get attack speed. If you have lapis, you get movement speed. If you have gold, similar to the actual gold, you get HP. So if I go ahead and equip all of this armor, we should get a bonus to our HP. Yeah, just a little bit. So we've gotten 5 hearts. So it's not as much as just using the gold armor. If you had gold armor trimmed with gold, you get even more HP. And you can also see the effect. Since we have all the coast, we get luck. So obviously, because this is like a spelunker set, we get water breathing and luck. So you want to go treasure hunting using this armor set. We are a little bit slower, I think. Right. I've tried to balance it out with a little bit of a negative impact on the armor sets as well. Yeah, so we are definitely slower. And the reason for that is obviously you're waterlogged, or, I don't know, you've got gold, heavy material, something like it. You can do your own headcanon. Netherite, I did balance netherite around the fact that you couldn't trim, say, netherite with it, but it's not too much of a big deal. If I were to equip netherite, you get a bonus to all your stats. So we get a little bit of speed, a little bit of HP. Granted, you can't actually tell the HP unless I take damage, because you maintain your hearts even if you lose it. But you can see we went down to 2. Is 2 the maximum? Yeah, so with netherite, we've only got a bonus of 2 HP. But we do have, obviously, a little bit of movement speed, a little bit of attack speed, knockback armor, all the good stuff. So what is it? So 1, 3, 6, 7, but we have 8. So we've got a little bit extra armor, because we should only have 3.5 armor bars full with this gear. As for the actual armor set, I'm curious what Vex does. If it's not apparent, it either is tied to being in a certain biome or on a certain block, or having enemies around. Again, there's a lot, and I sort of have a creative flash and then it goes away. I do remember what Snout does. Snout is obviously Piglin, so we'll need some gold with us. I don't want to waste it all. We go ahead and equip. You can see our gold gets declined, but we get speed 5 and haste 5. So every 3 seconds or so, you're losing a gold ingot for a massive boost. Just like, say you were a piglin. You're going into a gold frenzy, but you do have to obviously use up gold every time. There are particle effects now tied to all the armor. So for instance, Snout, you get some gold flakes. The Dune before, you get little dust clouds. Hide, you might have seen. I can't remember if I'm going to put it into the intro or not. Where is my Tide armor? In fact, I should always make sure to put them back. Oh, here we are. Okay, so if I fully equip my Tide, got redstone, so if you can tell, the attack speed is quite a bit higher. But if we go ahead and jump into the ocean, and don't miss, we get Dolphin's Grace and Conduit Power. So, obviously, Tide got to beat the Elder Guardian. It's obviously tied. You got to beat the Elder Guardian, so you might as well get a good benefit from it too. I did also balance all of these abilities around the fact that trims were, you know, a bit hefty of a cost. I'm a bit sad that they reduced it, made them a bit easier to find. But I think, obviously, this one's still, you know, quite rare, so it does warrant the buff. It's only Dolphin Grace 1, Conduit 1. Not, I don't know if they have levels. I think it's Depth Strider that increases the Dolphin speed, right? Either way, just I thought a neat little perk to tie with the armor. Obviously, it's rightly themed. I should probably go back to creative just to make traveling a bit easier. Okay, what else do we have? We've got Rib. Rib's actually another interesting one. We actually have to swap back to survival for it. Put this back. Oh, that is definitely the wrong chest. I don't want to keep it somewhat organized because I've got some other stuff to go through a bit later on. But yeah, so Rib has the netherite, so again, it's just a passive bonus. Equip it all. Dislike that in creative it duplicates. I understand why, but a bit of a pet peeve. We also need a flint and steel before I hop over into survival. And I should probably heal up. I don't really want to die. Oh, was that saturation? No, that was instant damage. I definitely don't want to use that one. Go on, I know it's here somewhere. There we are, infinite. Perfect. We can clear it too, so we don't have the particle effect. I do love the new infinite command. It's very useful. Anyway, so we've got Rib. Obviously, you find it in the Nether. Fire. We're on fire, but we get a bit of regeneration and a health boost. So as long as you light yourself on fire, you get a little bit of a buff for a short period. So the idea being is obviously your siphoning power from the Nether, so to speak. So a minute of health boost can definitely come in handy. Obviously, you have to survive the fire damage, which is a bit of a hassle, but well worth it, I think. I think this is a neat sort of combo, or, you know, a bit of flavor to the armor. I'll fix it up later. Right, so what else do we have? Snouts was gold buff, tied, obviously, the Dolphin's Grace. Vex, okay, this is an interesting one. So we'll grab out the leather gear, equip it. Got netherite, so we get a passive bonus to all our attributes. But Vex, so you find in a Woodland Mansion, has a interaction with the Totem of Undying. So if we go ahead, tuck that in our offhand, that should be about the right height, right? We can see the particle effect, perfect. And if we go ahead and swap it to survival, should be enough. Yep. So a few things you might have noticed happen. For one, our HP jumped right up to about 6 hearts. So that's because the totem with the Vex trimmed gear now gives instant health as soon as you hit that threshold. So you have a greater bonus, so to speak. You're not actually sitting there on like 1 to 2 hearts, you know, running for your life right after you pop it. But it also has more effects. So if we go ahead and summon a bunch of husks. Right, just here in the daytime, perfect. We need another totem. Make sure it's in our offhand. Don't want to pop it. And then fly up. Need somewhat of a good spot. There we are. Game mode, survival. Oh, one more. Pop it. Okay, so it popped. HP healed up. And now they also have slowness and weakness. So it's much better of a safety net if you do pop the totem while you have this Vex trimmed gear. Obviously, they'll recoup and then I'm screwed. So I'll head back into creative. Okay, what's next? Oh, now it's damaged. It's going to look slightly odd. So we've got actually, I can show this off since there's entities nearby. So not only does it teleport items to us, it should also highlight nearby mobs. That way you can sort of, you know, get an eye for anything around you. But if I were to drop an item, it should teleport to me. Perfect. So you're a bit of like a Enderman effect, if you will. I think we'll leave it there. I've gone through most of them. Can I remember the attributes? I know Emeralds are luck. Netherite is an all-round bonus. Redstone is attack speed. Lapis is movement. Everything else. Nether quartz is probably attack damage. Gold is HP. You know, like I said, I'll probably just put a list up so you can see. And I guess I will sort everything. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it interesting. I just thought it was a better way, you know, to give some utility to the armor. Because the cosmec's cool, don't get me wrong. I love that just as a feature itself. But, you know, it can be taken a little bit further and actually give you a benefit to seek these out and hunt them. Because now, you know, if I'm going to the Nether, I can equip Rib, so that way I can stand fire, gain a bonus. If I'm going out exploring or mining, I might want Wild, so that I can stand on grass and gain haste. You know, they've all got their slight benefits now and slight weaknesses. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Well, I didn't quite go over the armor effects. Leave some stuff to surprise or mystery. Anyway, see you next time.